Hi everyone, so we are in our South America unit and talking about the Galapagos Islands, and this bird, the blue footed bird, is one that you might see if you go there. So it's actually what we're going to do for our project today is we're going to draw these birds. And what I thought was kind of interesting about them is they're not just in the Galapagos Islands, you can find them in other places too, but about half of the species do live there. They normally nest and have 1 to 3 eggs, so not a lot of babies every year. And their blue feet are actually caused by their diet, so by the food that they eat is what makes them have blue feet. And this one right here is probably a female, and this one is a male because normally the males are a little bit smaller and they actually stomp their feet to try and get a girlfriend. So I thought that was funny. But I'm going to show you my example and then we'll get started. But I wanted you to have this to look at to kind of get a reference of what they actually look like. Alright, so here's my example that I made. And we're going to go through how to make it on your own, okay? So what you need is a piece of paper and some crayons or something to draw with. Crayons or colored pencils are probably the best. Alright, so I'm going to start out probably with my gray. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with the body of our birds. So we're going to do a shape that curves around, meets back up at the neck, almost like a vase. And we're going to do 2 of those, okay? One can be a little more flat, one can be a little more rounded. Now they don't have to be perfect, mine aren't perfect. It's almost like a U. And then what we're going to do from here is we're going to go ahead and add their head. So this one what we'll do is we will curve it around like this. And he's going to have his beak stuck up in the air. I'll bring that up a little bit more. And then they've got a pretty long beak. Curves around. Alright, you can even connect those a little bit better. And they kind of have a funny shape around the outside of their beak because their eye is pretty close to it. So it's kind of like 2 bubbles. You can put a little bit more of a point on there. We'll do a line through the middle, show where their beak opens up, and we'll do a circle for where their eye is going to be, okay? Alright, we'll do the same thing for this side. I'm going to curve it around for its head, and we're going to add his beak on here. Alright, same thing, 2 curves. A line through the middle and a circle for its eye. Alright, now we get to add their wings. So what we're going to do, it's almost like 2 ear shapes on the side. So you're going to do 2 curves or like a C on each side. Try and match them up as best as we can. And this one you're actually going to be able to see a little bit of his wing. And then we'll see the outside of the one over here. Okay. Now we need to add its feet. So we're going to do 1, 2 lines, 2 lines here. And what we'll do is we're going to do an upside down U for each foot. Same thing on this side. 1, 2, 1, 2. Upside down U, upside down U, and then they have 3 little toes, so just like that. Remember they are going to have blue feet. 1, 2, 3 toes, almost like you're doing an upside down tulip. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, now from here, you have to color it in. So we're going to go back to our picture so you can look again. So, blue feet, brownish black wings, a gray beak, and then if you look, their eyes are actually white with a circle of black in the middle. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave our eyes pretty much alone. We're going to put a black dot in the middle. Most of their body is white, but they do have little bits of brown, mostly around their head, but you can see a little bit down here too. Okay, so we're going to start, we'll work on their feet, and then we'll go to their wings, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so let's go ahead, we'll get our blue out. And I don't have a light blue, so I'm going to use the closest that I've got. I'm going to color it in. And I can always go back with some of my other shades of blue to add some shading to it. There's one. And so where they live on the Galapagos Island is actually a volcanic island, which means a lot of time you see them on rocks. So we can go back and add the rocks after we finish coloring our birds in, okay? So I'm going to get one of my other blues to add some dark spots on here. Make it look a little more 3D. Alright, so I'm going to start with my wings. I'm going to color them in brown to start with, and then I'll go back and add some black. And then while I've got my brown out, I'm going to go ahead and add the brown that was near the top of their head. So I'm just going to do little bitty streaks on here. I'll probably go back with some gray and add some more to it. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get my black, and I'll darken up the wings. Alright, and if you want some rocks on the bottom, what you can do is you could do some lines around the bottom of their feet. Okay, so that'll be 2 rocks. And you can color some of that in. I wouldn't color it all in brown or all in black because we want to add some brown and gray to it. But you could add some around the feet for the shadows where it's standing. Same thing on the other side. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and move to my gray. Actually, we forgot to dot our eyes. So we're going to do a little circle of black inside the eye. And now we need to color in their beaks. But before we do that, I do want to point out one more thing. You might see on their beaks, there's almost a kind of purpley blue shade to it. So if you want to add that, you can. So you might use some of your blue to add an extra little color in here. There we go. Now we're ready to color it in gray. I'm going to add some gray to their head. Same thing here. And then we're probably going to add some shading down here on the rocks. And then you could also add a little bit of brown on there if you wanted to. Just to add a little bit of texture to it. And you could work on blending all that together. Okay, now all we really have left to do now is to fill in the background. So you could add some grass, you could make it to where they're standing by the ocean, and you could add waves behind them. Okay, it's really up to you. I did grass and then the sky, but I'm gonna, like I said, leave it up to you on how you do it. Okay, if you add grass, really all you have to do is just add some streaks of green behind, like this. Okay, and that'd be all you have to do. Alright, but I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope your birds look really good. Remember to send me a picture when you're done because I would love to see them. Alright, bye.